Welcome, kid, to this true life KidTime StoryTime.
Wait a minute. I think I know these guys.
Oh, do you, Green Bear?
Yeah, wait a minute. Is that... I need a hint.
Okay. It is Martin Luther King and... Do you know this one, Green Bear?
Oh, yeah. Is it that girl who wrote Diary?
And Frank. Very good.
Thanks. I've been studying them in school a little bit.
Oh, okay. So what do you know about Martin Luther King?
He was like this great guy. He wrote these really nice words, and he was like a fighter for freedom and justice, like me, because I'm going to be the first green president of the United States of America.
Very good, Green Bear. It's important to know your history, especially if you're going to be the president of the United States of America.
Yeah, and oh, wait a minute. I don't know that much about Anne except that she wrote a book.
That's right. She wrote a diary. And usually when we study Martin and Anne in school, they are not together. But this book is doing a mashup of Martin and Anne. And let's see what they might have in common, shall we, Green Bear?
Okay.
You ready? Okay. The Kindred Spirits of Dr. Martin Luther King and Anne Frank. And I'm fascinated to see what they have in common, because when we see them in movies, there's so many movies about them. There's movies and there's books and there's documentaries, but you never see them together at all. This is the first time I've ever seen these two gargantuan figures of history combined. So let's see what's happening. In 1929, two babies were born on opposite sides of the ocean. They never met. They didn't even speak the same language, but their hearts beat with the same hope. On January 15th, Martin's mother, father, and older sister beamed at their beautiful baby in Atlanta, Georgia. On June 12th, Anne's father, mother, and older sister cooed at their beautiful baby in Frankfurt, Germany. Babies make very similar sounds across the ponds. But not everyone thought Martin and Anne were beautiful. Why not? They are beautiful babies. When Martin was old enough to go to school, he had to go to a different one than his best friend because his skin was dark. Even worse, his friends stopped playing with him. Oh, you know that had to break his little heart. Martin's skin hadn't changed, but suddenly his friend cared when he hadn't before. That made no sense. Now, when Anne was ready to go to school, Adolf Hitler, the leader of the Nazi Party, was elected to lead Germany, and Jewish children like Anne were no longer allowed in public schools. Anne's family fled Germany for Holland, but when Hitler invaded Holland, anti-Jewish laws also followed, and Anne's school closed its doors to her. Suddenly, her friends didn't want to play with her anymore. Same problem across different divides. And because he's black, because she's Jewish, suddenly they're not good enough because they're different. But you know, you're a KidTime StoryTimer. You know that we believe that different just makes us richer and more interesting. For example, we're going to have a green bear president one day. It doesn't get any more interesting than that. Everywhere Martin went, he saw signs that said whites only. He wasn't welcome in public parks, swimming pools, or restaurants. Martin didn't think that was fair. Everywhere Anne went, she had to wear a yellow Star of David that let people know she was Jewish. She couldn't buy ice cream or go to a movie. Every day more signs blared, "No Jews allowed." Her father couldn't sell to non-Jewish customers. Nazis burned books by Jewish authors. It's just humans rejecting humans because they're different. Good thing that was a long time ago. When Martin was 13, he won a speech competition talking about black and white children playing together in harmony. He wondered if the right words could one day change unfair laws. When Anne was 13, she got a diary for her birthday. She was happy she could share her most private thoughts with Kitty, the name she gave her journal. But soon after she began writing, Jews were rounded up and sent to death camps. Anne and her family hid in the attic over her father's business. They had to be very, very quiet. They couldn't go outside. Trapped in the attic, Anne described how beautiful the world outside was, how light could brighten the deepest darkness. That's very interesting because they both have written beautifully about how light and dark work in humanity. Martin finished high school at 15 15! 15! Super smart! I bet he would have been a KidTime StoryTimer if we were around and if YouTube had existed. Most colleges were for whites only, so he went to Morehouse College, a school for black students, which still exists. There, he learned about the Indian leader Mahatma Gandhi and how he won rights for his people using peaceful protests. That's going to be key. Peaceful protests. Could the same thing work in America, he wondered. Martin decided to become a minister who would lead his people to stand up for justice. Now, here's Anne. She's hidden in the attic, and she continued her studies as best as she could. Remember, she can't go outside, much less go to college. And every day, she wrote in her diary about her dreams for a better world. Even with all the hate around her, Anne believed that people were really good at heart. And you know, that had to be hard to do because when everyone's being mean to you and sending your family off to death camps, it's got to be hard to believe in people and believe that they're good. But she had that faith in her. When Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give up her bus seat to a white man, Martin, who is now a minister, organized protest marches. He gave speeches. He told people not to ride the buses until everyone was treated fairly. Martin shared his dream of a world where all were truly considered equal, and his words gave people courage and strength. So here they are. Here's a march that he organized. Black and white together, Justice Now, End Racism, Rosa Parks, Stop Police Brutality. While Martin grew older, Anne's 15th year was her last. The Nazis stormed Anne's hiding place. They arrested her family and the friends hiding with them. Anne's diary was left behind, pages scattering on the floor of the dusty attic. But she still believed in the power of simple acts of kindness. Martin went on to win the Nobel Peace Prize when he was 35, which is really young. He worked with President Lyndon Johnson to help pass the Civil Rights Act of 1964. At last, those ugly whites-only signs were against the law. Now, only a few weeks before the concentration camp was liberated and were in Germany, Anne died, along with her older sister. She would have been amazed that her diary, which was rescued by a family friend, became a bestseller. Her father, the only one in her family to survive the camps, had her book published. Actors performed her words on stage and film. The cramped rooms where she hid in Amsterdam became a museum dedicated to speaking out against hate. Isn't that incredible? I know it's really sad that she died. Really sad. But incredible at the same time that she lives on and we still know her name and her story because of her words, which were rescued from that diary. Thank goodness she wrote it so we could all read her thoughts. When Martin was 39, he was shot and killed by a man who didn't believe black people deserved the same rights as white people. But no one could kill the way Martin inspired others. No bullet can do that. Just as Anne's words will never die. Martin and Anne were born in different places, but they both dreamed that one day all babies would be seen as beautiful as all babies are. Love is stronger than hate. Kindness can heal the world. And that is the mashup of Martin and Anne, the Kindred Spirits.
Oh man, I'm kind of blue now.
I know. It's kind of rough when we have these heroic people from history and they die for what they believe in.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to think like other people don't think sometimes.
Yeah, you get a lot of pushback, especially when you have a very innovative idea.
Yeah. Oh man, I hope that nobody hates the idea of having a green bear president.
No! Why would anybody hate that? I think everybody would be super fascinated by that idea.
Good. It's a good thing that people like Martin and Anne existed so that we know that we can always hope, and even if somebody's mean to us,
which happens to everybody.
Yeah, that even if somebody's mean to us, we can still believe in the goodness of mankind and keep pushing us forward as I, President Green Bear, will one day do. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being with us for this amazing, true life, and inspirational Kid Time Story Time. And remember, kid, love always wins.